It was supposed to be a harmless lie. I thought a fake boyfriend would shut my mom up for one Thanksgiving dinner. Maybe get my aunt to stop trying to set me up with her coworker's daughter. What I didn't expect was for the devil himself to walk through that front door, carrying a smile that could split me open. Yes, my so-called boyfriend was Ethan Carter, my high school nemesis, the guy who once ruined my entire junior year by exposing my most humiliating secret to the entire football team. The guy I swore I'd never forgive. And now, he was standing there, playing the role of my lover like he'd been born for it. The moment he put his arm around my shoulders, my whole body went rigid. My mother, of course, lit up like the 4th of July. "Finally!" she exclaimed, clapping her hands like she had personally orchestrated this. "You didn't tell us he was so handsome." Handsome? I wanted to choke. If only she knew the history, every sneer, every insult, every fight Ethan and I had traded over the years. But Ethan just grinned down at me, tightening his arm like he belonged there. "Well," he said smoothly, "your son and I go way back." I shot him a glare sharp enough to slice steel. He had no right to be here, to invade this carefully constructed lie, to stand so close that I could smell the faint trace of cedarwood cologne on his jacket. "Back where?" my dad asked, raising an eyebrow. "High school," Ethan answered, his voice casual, his smirk dangerous. "We weren't exactly friends, but things change." His fingers brushed against mine under the tablecloth as he said it, deliberate, taunting. My heart skipped. No, not skip-tripped, stumbled, fell headfirst into a ditch. Because beneath the hatred, beneath the history, my body remembered him in ways my mind refused to. I was doomed. Dinner was a battlefield. Every smile Ethan gave me was a bullet. Every laugh that slipped past my lips in spite of myself was a betrayal. And the worst part? My family adored him. He helped my grandmother carry the heavy casserole dish. He complimented my mom's cooking like he wasn't the same guy who once called me pathetic in front of the entire cafeteria. He leaned back in his chair, confident, charming, utterly infuriating, and every time his knee brushed mine beneath the table, I wanted to either kick him or drag him upstairs and lock the door. "Tell us how you two got together," my cousin asked, eyes wide with curiosity. I opened my mouth, panic rushing in like floodwater. But Ethan beat me to it. "Funny story," he said, his voice dripping with the kind of smooth charisma that made people lean in. "He actually hated me at first. Couldn't stand me." "Hated?" my mom gasped. Ethan nodded solemnly, his eyes flicking toward me with a spark of mischief. But then, something changed. One night, I realized all that fire between us wasn't hate. It was something else. The table erupted in delighted us. While I sat there, my pulse hammering against my throat, wondering if Ethan knew exactly how deep he was cutting. Because what he didn't know, what nobody knew, was that he was half right. I had hated him, but I had also wanted him. And that want had never really gone away. Later, after dessert and too many glasses of wine, I found him on the back porch, leaning against the railing with the cold November air whipping through his blonde hair. He looked infuriatingly good, moonlight catching on the sharp line of his jaw, his hands tucked in his pockets like he had all the time in the world. "You're enjoying this way too much," I snapped, stepping out into the chill. He glanced over, that damned smirk playing at his lips. "What, pretending to be your boyfriend? Or watching you squirm?" "Both," I hissed. "Maybe," he shrugged. "But it's not entirely pretend, is it?" The words hit harder than they should have. My throat tightened, heat flaring in my chest despite the cold. "Don't play with me, Ethan." "I'm not playing." His voice dropped, softer now, losing the edge of mockery. "You think I don't remember? The way you used to look at me like you hated me but wanted something else just as badly?" I froze, every nerve in my body sparking like a live wire. He stepped closer, slow, deliberate, until I could see the tiny flecks of gold in his eyes. "I was an asshole back then. I know that. But maybe I pushed you because..." He hesitated, the smirk fading, his words raw now. Because I didn't know how else to deal with wanting you. The world tilted beneath my feet. And when his fingers brushed mine again, not taunting this time but trembling, like he was afraid, I couldn't breathe. I wanted to laugh. Or scream. Or maybe both. Because Ethan Carter, the boy who once made my life hell, was standing in front of me, confessing in a voice that sounded nothing like the smirking villain I remembered. It was cracked at the edges, hesitant, almost afraid. "You're lying," I said finally, my voice shaking. He shook his head, stepping even closer. "Not this time. I don't know how else to tell you, except that I've wanted this for years." "Wanted you?" My chest tightened. "You ruined me, Ethan. Do you even remember what you did?" The guilt that flickered in his eyes was real. No hint of mockery left. "Every day," he admitted. "I was a coward. I thought if I kept pushing you, humiliating you, I could smother it. But it only made me want you more. I know I don't deserve forgiveness, but I couldn't waste this chance." The air between us felt like it might snap. His words lodged inside me like broken glass, sharp and painful, yet glinting with something terrifyingly beautiful. Because I had never stopped thinking about him, never stopped hating him, never stopped wanting him. And maybe that was the cruelest truth of all. I whispered, "You're still the last person I should want." His smile was soft this time, stripped of arrogance. And yet, here we are. Before I could think, his hand brushed against my cheek. Warm, gentle, not a taunt, not a game. My breath caught. My body leaned in before my brain could stop it. And then, finally, after years of venom and silence, his lips were on mine. It wasn't careful. It was desperate, clashing, angry and hungry. A kiss that tasted like history rewritten in fire. I shoved him against the porch railing, fists curling in his jacket, and he kissed me back like he'd been waiting a decade for this moment. When we finally pulled apart, panting, the world felt rearranged. "I still hate you," I muttered. He grinned, forehead pressed to mine. "Good. Keeps things interesting." The following days were chaos. Pretending to be boyfriends had suddenly become not pretend. Every stolen glance at dinner, every touch that lingered too long under the table, felt dangerous but impossible to resist. My family noticed, of course. My mom beamed every time Ethan helped wash the dishes. My grandmother winked at me when she caught us standing too close in the hallway. And instead of correcting them, instead of ending the lie, I found myself wanting to live in it. Wanting him, but reality was heavier than a holiday dream. When Thanksgiving ended, so would the act. Ethan would go back to his life and I'd go back to mine. Rivals, enemies, ghosts of something that almost happened. Except, he didn't leave. "I'm staying in town for a while," he told me one evening, sitting too close on the couch. His knee brushed mine, deliberate this time. "Unless you want me gone." I should have said yes. I should have told him to leave, to stop messing with the fragile balance I'd built. But instead, I whispered, "Stay." And just like that, the war ended. Or maybe it transformed into something else, something far scarier. Weeks later, when the Christmas lights were strung across Main Street and the air smelled of pine and snow, Ethan and I walked side by side through the crowded square. No more pretending, no more lies, just us, brushing shoulders in the glow of the season. "You realize your family thinks I'm moving in already," he teased. I rolled my eyes, but my hand found his anyway. "They'd kick me out if you didn't." His laugh was warm, genuine, the kind that curled in my chest like a secret fire. For the first time, I didn't feel like I was hiding. Not from him, not from myself. He squeezed my hand, voice low, meant only for me. "You know, for someone who swore he hated me, you're really bad at letting go." I glanced at him, my heart thudding in a rhythm that felt terrifyingly like hope. Maybe I was never meant to let go. He kissed me then, right there in the middle of the glowing town square, unbothered by the crowd. And this time it wasn't desperate or angry. It was soft, certain, promise. I had made up a boyfriend to survive one family dinner. But in the end, I found something real. Something I thought I'd never have with him. Love. And it was enough. Thank you for listening. Don't forget to like and subscribe to stay updated with the latest videos.